The diner fell into a hush the moment she spoke. Can I take the leftovers for my daughter? Her voice cracked softly, trembling with both shame and hope. Every sound, the hum of the neon sign, the sizzling from the kitchen, seemed to fade as all eyes turned toward her. She stood at the edge of the booth, clutching a thin denim purse like it was armor. Her name was Lena Brooks, a 32-year-old waitress at a nearby laundromat cafe who'd come here after her shift, her clothes faintly smelling of detergent and tiredness. Her wavy brown hair, tied up in a messy bun, framed a face that told stories of sleepless nights and relentless strength. Across from her, a hulking man in a leather jacket, Blake Bear Harris, leader of a local biker group known more for loud engines than gentle hearts, looked up from his half-eaten steak. Tattoos crawled down his muscled arms, and his weathered face was set in a scowl that could silence a room. Around him sat his crew, rough-looking men who'd filled the diner with their laughter moments earlier. Now even they went still. Lena's words hung in the air like smoke. It's just... My little girl didn't have dinner, she whispered, eyes darting to the plate. The waitress behind the counter froze mid-step. A man by the window lowered his coffee cup. Blake stared at her, the tough biker with eyes the color of storm clouds. Then, to everyone's shock, he laughed, a deep, rough laugh. The kind that didn't sound cruel, but it hurt her all the same. You're serious? He said, leaning back, arms crossed. You're asking for scraps? Lena's cheeks flushed red. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother. Before she could finish, he pushed his plate toward her. Here, he said, voice suddenly lower, steady. Take it. The diner stayed silent. Lena blinked, unsure if he was mocking her. I didn't mean yours, sir. I just thought maybe... Take it, he repeated, his tone firm now. You said it's for your kid. Take it. Her trembling hand reached out, and he noticed how small it looked next to his, the hand of a woman who'd worked too hard for too little. He nodded at the waitress. Box it up. And get her a slice of pie, too. On me! As the waitress hurried off, Blake leaned forward, elbows on the table. How old's your little girl? 6, Lena said softly. Her name's Abby. He smiled faintly, and for the first time that night, the hardness in his face softened. 6, huh? My daughter was that age when I... He stopped mid-sentence, the words catching in his throat. When I lost her. Lena's eyes widened, her exhaustion giving way to empathy. I'm so sorry, she said. He shrugged, trying to mask the ache that rose in his voice. She and her mom were hit by a drunk driver 5 years ago. I was too busy raising hell with my crew to be there that night. Guess I've been running from that guilt ever since. The clink of silverware and quiet sniffles filled the silence. Lena's eyes glistened as she whispered, You're not running anymore. Blake looked up, confused. You stopped to help a stranger tonight, she said. That's something my little girl would call a hero move. The words hit him harder than any punch ever had. He turned away, blinking fast, jaw tight. I'm no hero, ma'am. When the waitress returned with the food, Lena thanked her, clutching the box like treasure. Tell your little girl the biker said to eat well, Blake said with a grin that didn't quite reach his eyes. I will, Lena whispered. She'll never forget it. She walked out into the cool night air, clutching the warm box to her chest. The neon diner light flickered against her tired face, casting both relief and sorrow across her features. Inside, Blake sat motionless for a long time. Bear, you good? One of his crew muttered. He didn't answer right away. Finally, he pulled out his wallet, slammed a wad of bills on the counter, and stood up. Pay for everyone's meals, he said. And get me the manager. The waitress frowned. The manager? Why? Blake's deep voice softened. Because I'm buying this place a new fridge, and I want it stocked every night. Free meals after closing for anyone who needs it. The waitress's eyes went wide. Are you serious? He nodded once, his gaze drifting to the door Lena had just exited. Yeah, no one's kid should go hungry in my town. The men behind him exchanged stunned looks. These were men used to fights, not charity. But that night they followed his lead, quietly tossing their own cash into a growing pile on the counter. Outside, Blake climbed onto his black Harley, the chrome glinting under the diner's flickering sign. He revved the engine, but before pulling away, he looked down the road. In the distance, under a flickering streetlight, Lena was walking hand in hand with a small girl wearing a pink coat, skipping beside her, clutching the food box close to her chest. For the first time in years, Blake smiled without pain. He whispered into the wind, "Ride safe, little one." The next morning, the townspeople found a handwritten sign taped to the diner's door. It read, "Free meals for anyone in need. No questions asked. The Iron Wings Biker Crew." No one knew exactly what happened that night, but the story spread, how a hardened biker's heart melted over a mother's plea. And from then on, no one in that small town ever went hungry again.